what's up? It took me extra long to come in the studio today. It's been so hot up there. I already tried to come up here one time, and yo, this shit will not cool off. And even now, I've had the AC and the fan running for about 45 minutes, and it still ain't cool in here. It ain't hot, but it ain't. I don't know, man. The day is just crazy. As soon as I walked up here early just to turn the shit on, yo, I bust out in a hard sweat. Like, what the fuck? Let me see the weather real quick. Man, this shit wouldn't even pull 83 degrees. I don't know, man. 83, it feel like it's motherfucking 93 in this bitch. think I used this shit one time before. I'm gonna freak this shit.
Been to the church and tell me I was sin, but I don't believe in them.
tried to make a 10-minute beat, but it wound up being a 25-minute beat. But it's not bad. Got a little rock and roll thing in there and some little weird vocals. It's rocking though. It'll rock for a little minute. I kind of like this. I feel like I got off on that little beat real quick. You know what I'm saying? Little 10. I keep saying 10-minute. I try to make 10-minute beats, but that was like a little 25-minute garage band beat. I think I'll keep that one. I started playing with it yesterday and really couldn't get it to do what I wanted to do, but then finally, it sound all right. I could probably listen to it for a couple months before I delete it. But that's not too bad. It's like 4 stacks, a drum kick, some shakers, a guitar riff, and then there's a synth chord that is labeled as vocals. It's in the vocal section, but it's more like it's so distorted. It's just like a synth pitch. But I can't. Well, I don't know. Where's this other iPad? I can't listen to GarageBand and look at my reference photo at the same time. I don't know if this iPad is even charged. Oh, it has 23%. Alright, so I can still play some beats and paint at the same time. And I'm watching my homie on YouTube, my man Blunt Mover. Man, he's trying to get his channel monetized, and then we were like looking over our YouTube analytics, and both of us have had our, hold on, what's the code for this? Both of us have had our YouTube channels for a long time, and for some reason it seems like we're shadow banned. I guess it's because of some of the content that we produce. He's a very conscious person, and like if I do a live stream on YouTube and it's my art, I still have discussions sometimes, or I'll listen to some type of material, some audio material, but it's normally like some educational stuff, mostly pro-black or conspiracy type stuff, and so I can kind of see why they shadow ban our channels a little bit. But we looked over the analytics, and to monetize your YouTube channel, you gotta have at least 1,000 subscribers, and you have to acquire 4,000 watch hours in 1 year. So in the course of 365 days, if you have 4,000 hours of people watching your channel and you have 1,000 subscribers, you can monetize your channel. And he's just a little shy of the 4,000 hour mark. So we just keep watching his channel and keep sharing his channel and keep liking his channel as much as we can so we can get his hours up. Oh, West Scranton? Definitely, man. You guys are awesome, bro. Yeah, man, that was a really good conversation, and I don't know, I just really appreciate the opportunity of being able to come there. Actually, me and Mr. Nat, he is the one who invited me,
and I think we're going to do a show together on Sunday. So if everything goes according to plan, I'll actually be showing with Mr. Nat this Sunday. It's going to be a one night event, but it still will be cool just to hang around with artsy fartsy people. You know, that's our little thing. But yeah, man. Last year I did so much. I did so much. As far as like moving around, I did several lectures. I traveled to Kansas City and California and Tennessee, and I was just really, really, really trying to get that art out there, get the message out there, and which was awesome. You know, I last year was amazing. I had my first solo museum exhibit. It was just so much going on last year that I didn't actually produce a lot of art because I was on the road so much. I'm going here, I'm going there, so I wasn't, in the studio actually. Oh, the YouTube camera is just, yo, Boozy, what's up? I'm dropping iPads. The YouTube camera is all wonky. I can't. This is why I need a production team in here. I can't do all this by myself. But yeah. So last year I was very active and out and about and actually doing things, and I didn't make a lot of paintings. So this year I've just really tried to focus on being in the studio, creating new art, trying to come up with new concepts. There's this one idea that I've been playing around with years. Actually, it's like one of my first ideas, and like when I told you guys when I came to the school, like uh, this alien stuff is like this is my first passion. I just love science fiction. I love aliens. I love the possibility that we're not alone in the universe. I love the idea and of ancient aliens and ancient astronauts, lost civilizations, lost technology. I just love all of those ideas and concepts. And that was some of the first things I ever put in any of my earliest paintings. My earliest paintings are aliens and stuff, bro. Like on different worlds and different planets, and you can see the pyramid with like the Egyptian motifs and things in there. And so I really want to bring that back to my art. No lie. And I don't know. Early on, I still do it for fun, and it's a passion. But in the beginning, in my mind, in order for people to take me serious as an artist, I felt like I had to do a certain type of art. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know. I just felt like in the beginning, who the fuck is gonna look at some paintings of some aliens and stuff? No, you don't see that in museums and galleries, not commonly, But now I'm just like, you know, screw it. I feel like I'm established enough, and that people take me serious as an artist. So no matter what kind of subject matter I produce and put out, people will still consider it. They will take the consideration to try and analyze the art and extrapolate some type of meaning, and not just brush it off as like, what is this crap? and and at the same time, I feel like I'm also at a point in my career where I should have the ability to paint what I want to paint. And I always do paint what I want to paint, but I paint it with the viewer in mind as well. I want images that everyone can relate to on some level. But now, like, the images that I'm going to start producing is almost specifically for me only. But if other people enjoy it, or they connect with it, or they can relate to it, or if they can pull some kind of meaning from it, or if they see some new type of information or a new concept that they were never aware of, and that leads them on a journey of researching and exploration, and that's great. That'll be icing on the cake. But the main thing is I just want to get these ideas and these images out my head and on canvas for my own sake, because I think it's cool and I want to see it. I want to see it for myself. I want to produce images of this thing that I want to do for me. And I think it's cool, and if I think it's cool, maybe other people will think it's cool too. And if not, that's fine. I will be absolutely fine with that. I'll be fine with that. But if people do like it, that'll be badass too. But if not, it is what it is. But after these two paintings here, this will be everybody love Alf. You know, man, Alf from Melmac. Motherfucker eat cats, man. So this is another piece for the reader series, and then I have one more piece for the reader series right there, and then I will be done with the reader series, and then after that I will be on to something else. That's it, man. You gotta do you, man. Just do what feels good, do what feels right, do what feels honest. You know what I'm saying? If it's something you're honestly interested in, do that and share it. Share it with the world. People like it, great. They don't like it, same thing. You know, that's fine too. That is just fine too. All right, so, oh yeah, so I can get the picture. I can get the picture on this. And then we can still, wait a minute. Bam. Then we can still listen to GarageBand. Now what I gotta do? All right. So if I move GarageBand to right here, I set GarageBand right there, and then I take this, and then I can put Instagram right here, like that. Bam. And I'll stick with Instagram for a couple minutes, guys, but I am live on YouTube. So if you want to stick around for the whole show, you can definitely click over to the YouTube channel and catch us in here. I've got to adjust YouTube real quick. All right. And bam, some GarageBand beats. I try to tell everybody, man, GarageBand is a free app. It is free. It's absolutely free. You can download GarageBand, and if you're bored and you ain't got nothing to do, you can sit around and make your own beats. And sometimes they sound okay. too bad. That's kind of smooth actually. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep that one. Let's see. This one is called "It's Real." Really? I'm gonna see how real this shit is. Is it really real? Sounds like a lullaby. Yo, who's trying to get in here? Yo, Demario, what's good, bro? Yo, what's good, bro?
That much, my G. Sitting up here, man, fish, man.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
trying.
I was trying to do, see if you and I were gonna try to do like a megaverse thing on the whole, pyramids and, UFO, like, whatnot type thing. Last time when I had spoke, I didn't know if we were taking it kind of seriously or not.
What you mean like a megaverse?
Yeah, like a little megaverse thing, like, you do your insight, I do my insight. But I thought you were gonna drop. I thought you were serious about it. I thought you was gonna.
I don't never remember talking about that. Oh, she froze. I don't never remember that conversation. Honestly. Oh, I don't know what happened. You don't know how the hell? The man was talking about some shit just now. I don't remember that at all. I know I be having a lot of conversations with people, but a megaverse. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see where we at. Let's see. I might let's see if we can find something on YouTube. UbiTube. The greatest lie ever told. Moon landing after files. Moon landing. Stanley Kubrick's greatest film. When is this? When is this? I gotta get notified for that. At 9 p.m. tonight. Okay, okay, okay. Yo, my man about to start touching on some shit now. I watched this dude called his channel is called the Y Files, and he breaks down a lot of different conspiracies, and he puts enough evidence out there and enough facts about these things that you can decide for yourself, is this true or not? But he's gonna do something about the moon landing. I don't think he's ever done that before. So now he says it's gonna air at 9 o'clock tonight. Definitely gotta check out this episode of the Y Files.
Stanley Kubrick is considered one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Of his 13 movies, a few are considered classics. But in 1968, Kubrick released 2001: A Space Odyssey. And this is more than a classic, it's a masterpiece, and widely regarded as one of the best science fiction films of all time, and probably the most influential. This collaboration with science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke tells the story of an alien intelligence that visited Earth in the distant past and left behind artifacts in the solar system. The movie features groundbreaking special effects which still hold up today. In fact, the effects looked so good that the movie gave the American government an idea. Billions of tax dollars were invested in the space program, but the Soviets were still years ahead of the United States. NASA desperately needed to get to the moon before Russia, but they knew it was impossible. So they turned to one of the world's best filmmakers for help. Because when it came to the moon, if they couldn't make it, they'd fake it.
Moon landing hoax. So, who believes that we actually went to the moon? And who thinks that no such thing has ever happened? Me personally, I believe kind of both of them. That's a hard one. Yo, but like you say, man, that fucking that 2001: Space Odyssey with the monolith and what was it, HAL 9000?
I can't do that, Sam. When the AI becomes alive and start making its own decisions, and then, like you say, it has this alien overlay to it, and
I don't know, man. I only watched it all the way through one time, and yes, that movie is weird as shit. But I don't know, like years and years ago, somebody said that he actually wrote a letter confessing and explaining the whole moon landing hoax and how he was, he was asked to film this thing and all this stuff, but he wrote this letter and he said to keep it sealed until like so many years after his death, and then that year was like a couple of years ago. And then motherfuckers said this letter came out from Stanley Kubrick, and it was like, yo, in the letter he confessed, like, yeah, we that shit was fake. I filmed that shit on the studio set. But then, everybody's gonna even question that, like, oh, is that a real letter? Did he really write that? Did it, I don't know, man. There's so many contradictions with the moon landing. That shit crazy. That's why I say I kind of believe both. I kind of believe that we went there and we faked it at the same time. I think we went there, we got to the moon, and we saw some shit that either scared us or we saw some shit that we weren't supposed to see or something, man. Because there are some other recordings and reports of like astronaut, like some of the first supposed moon missions, and you can hear one of the astronauts saying that something's following us. And then one of the biggest ones, like the phone call and the transmission of the video back to Earth in '69? Like, do we really have that capability in '69 for a long distance phone call from the moon? Live footage from the moon? I'm just asking questions, that's all. I was just trying to ask some questions. But I don't know. The Van Allen radiation belt and fuel capacity, no scorch marks on the landing, shadows not lining up right in some of the photographs, the appearance of some kind of string or pulley system that actually holds the astronauts up. And then recently, y'all should just Google mouse in space. Because apparently, goddamn, there was a mouse on the outside of one of the Elon Musk rockets or some shit. Well, that's why we going back. But I think China has a rover on the moon, and I think India is launching something really soon, yo. I think India is about to launch an unmanned rover to the moon. Like, some shit about to start changing. Motherfuckers gonna find some structures on that moon, and I don't think other countries will hide it like America did. And then we got all this alien disclosure about to come out, bro. Like, I really do think something about to happen. Are they about to say? They about to tell us something soon. So when I do my kids program, I try to take photographs so we can use them for our for our website and our social media and stuff, just to show like the activities we doing. So here is one project, and the girls just said they wanted to draw in color anyway. So I had something else scheduled, and they was like, can we draw like some dragons and some anime? So I was like, yeah. So I just brought like crayons and markers and big drawing pads, taking pictures of them doing their thing. And then, so while I'm taking pictures, I set the phone down. That's one of the ladies who work out there at the place. So after I'm taking pictures, I set my phone down, and one of them grabbed my damn phone, and I didn't even notice now, and took a picture of me. And then they started taking motherfucking selfies on my goddamn camera. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, Mr. Travis, check your phone. I'm like, check my phone? For what? Check your phone. I look in the damn phone, like all these goddamn selfies. What the hell y'all doing? Ah, ha, ha, ha. Yo, they be tripping me out sometimes. And the one little girl, I say, man, she be cursing all the time. Y'all, I be telling her, man, yo, don't do it in front of me. Tell me, I'm about to. She said something like, I'm about to draw a big ass circle. I'm like, what? Why do you have to curse, like, just to say a circle? You're gonna draw a big circle. Like, where are you getting this from? Who does that? Is that your mom or one of your cousins, your big sister or something? Like, what is up with the language? You know? I'm about to draw a big ass circle. Come on, little girl, stop. All right, we got to get notified. Yeah, notifications is set for that. That goddamn moon landing shit.
Our coach, he didn't just say this to me, he said it to others. He said, the easiest thing you can do in life is quit.
Mm-hmm.
And this ties into everything. It's like, I don't know, it kind of burns, because it's like, are you just going to quit? Well, that's easy. You're going to take the easy way out? Okay. There's something special about it, because it's like, it's very encouraging, like, you're going to really take the easy way out, huh? No, you just quit. Yeah, just quit like everyone else. And it's like, so since this world is becoming so soft, and people give up so easily, if you're willing to just keep going, you will stand out and have such an unbelievable advantage over everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only getting worse because everyone, whether it's having this victim mentality and people quitting so easily. And I remember our coach, he didn't just say this to me, he said it to others. He said,
I ain't no quitter.
Chaos and confusion of our times. Are you tired of being told what to think and believe? Well, you are not alone. Jordan Peterson has fearlessly peeled back layers upon layers of deception, exposing the puppet masters orchestrating the grand scheme. Get ready to have your mind blown as we uncover the shocking truth behind the system of ideas and their nefarious plans to reshape our world.
Do you feel that you're dealing with a they, or do you there's this biblical idea that what we war against is principalities, and I think of a principality, one variant of a principality is a system of ideas.
Yeah.
And I think, well, there's no, in a way, there's no they. There's a system of ideas that's a set of animating principles.
Sure.
Right, and it partially inhabits a multitude of people.
Well, I think there are two answers to this. There's a very diffuse they. If we say the woke, we generally know that we're speaking about people who think in certain ways, that they've adopted some of this power analysis, but it's very diffuse.
Yeah.
And maybe it's only a small amount, maybe it's a great amount, maybe it's this issue and not.
Right.
But then there are the people who pay for it, and I mean with large sums of money. They're a very distinct they. Somebody has decided to pour the gasoline into this fire. And they decided.
Do you think that they have any sense? They again.
These people, I think they know exactly what they're doing with it. That they are disrupting Western civilization so that they can recolonize it with their own position. And this is why I get called a conspiracy theorist online, despite the fact that they basically write this in their books themselves.
And for you, who are the primary actors in that they?
Well, there's a front that I usually typically name that is obviously the people that are the public face of this.
Okay.
And these are people at the World Economic Forum,
Right.
overwhelmingly central.
Did you read Klaus Schwab's Great Reset?
I did,
It's
and
quite the aggregation of cliches. I got about a third of the way through it, and I thought, no, I just can't do this anymore.
The Great Narrative, his second book that he wrote, well, it's his fourth really, but the second book he wrote in that series is much more poignant. But the way that he writes is, it's maybe 130 pages of a book, or I don't know, it's not that long. And it's business cliche, business terrifying paragraphs, business cliche. And so there's so if you read it in regards to the fact that the meat, it's a lot of fun and very little burger.
His camouflage is managers speak. So there is a
so you're asleep before you get anywhere.
Right. Well, I did notice too that a lot of the things I saw at universities that were really deep falsehoods weren't compassion; they were manager speak.
Manager speak. That's right.
Manager speak.
If you read something and it's putting you to sleep,
make those together.
It was probably designed to put you to sleep so you don't see.
Yeah, manager speak is what people on the administrative front who have absolutely no ability cloak themselves in so they look competent.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Oh yeah.
So here in the middle, almost squarely in the middle of the Great Narrative for a Better Future, which is the follow-up book to the Great Reset.
It's called Narrative for a Better Future.
The Great Narrative for a Better Future. You can't make this up. And so right in the middle, he has this set of paragraphs. It's maybe 5 paragraphs, but it covers 3 ideas. And number one, we're going to force all of the corporations to adopt ESG standards, and we're going to do that through top-down manipulations of the public-private partnership, governments and big business working together.
So fascism, in other words.
Fascism, with
compulsion,
with the NGOs being the coordinating entity. So the World Economic Forum is a hub that connects these things, which means there's something probably behind it that's a different they that's really organized.
That's the Legion, by the way.
Yes. And then, so secondly, we're going to transform the youth to demand ESG. They won't work in a company, they won't buy from a company, etc., unless they're ESG compliant. We're going to change the youth culture contract to
a uniform for it.
Even the space.
And the accent.
Yeah, well,
yeah, central casting.
Central casting, that's right.
Yeah, he needs a crow on his shoulder.
Yeah, or a bald cat to pet.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
So he says this speech earlier this year, an interview. He says that we're going to rewrite the social contract. He says this again and again. But he says specifically this time we're going to rewrite the social contract so that society accepts as we move from an economy of production and consumption to an economy, and I kid you not, Jordan, of caring and sharing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's communism.
Because productive generosity on the free market front hasn't worked.
Correct.
Right. Because it hasn't lifted more people out of poverty since the year 2000 than lifted out of poverty in the entire some history of humanity before that.
Yeah, but climate change.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is...
it's so interesting, that, like, I've got a couple here, so tell me what you think about these ideas. So tyrants use fear to produce compulsion. They're after compulsion. They want to aggregate the power, and so they'll use fear. And apocalyptic fear is the best sort of fear to use.
Of course.
Right. And so now you can tell the tyrants, because everybody wants to know who's listening. How do you tell the tyrants from the real leaders? Okay, the tyrants will frighten you into compulsion, and they'll use the crisis and the catastrophe to justify the compulsion. And you might say, well, there's a real crisis, and the right answer to that is there's always an apocalyptic crisis.
That's right.
That's a universal, eternal truth. And it's partly because all of us die. It's partly not because you die and I die, but also because every single person we know, our whole culture, everything we know will die.
Yeah.
So the apocalypse is always there, and sometimes that happens dramatically, and sometimes it happens incrementally, but it happens.
Yeah.
And so we're always facing apocalyptic crises because of that. And then you say, well, in spite of that, you can have a form of government that's not a tyranny. Well, not if you use the fear of the apocalyptic crisis to compel and to aggregate power. And so any leader who tells you that the crisis is so intense that it necessitates emergency compulsion, that's a tyrant.
That's exactly right.
And then there's another corollary to that, which is, imagine you're tyrannical and you are genuinely frightened by this crisis. Then I would say your nervous system has indicated by the paralysis of your fear that you're too small a knight for that dragon. Right, and so you shouldn't be parading yourself around as a leader. It's like, no, you're a frightened tyrant. You're not a leader. And we can tell you're not a leader because you're a frightened tyrant. Right? If you were a leader, even in the face of a crisis, you would keep your head.
That's right.
And you wouldn't use compulsion.
That's right.
So all these apocalyptic nightmare mongers who are saying, well, we're going to burn up the planet. It's like, yeah, that and 10 other apocalypses, by the way. That doesn't mean you get to centralize all the power and take it for yourself and use compulsion. And this, I really started to understand that as far as I was concerned, I was at war when I saw that the leftist, radical, narcissistic, malignant types were willing to sacrifice the poor to their climate scam.
That's right.
Right, so let's crank up energy prices. Well, why? Well, because renewables, because climate. It's like, do you know who you're going to hurt with high energy costs? You're going to destroy the margin, right? Because all you have to do is energy and food. There's no bloody difference. Those people are barely clinging on to the edge of reality. You crank up energy prices 10%, you wipe out like 20 million people.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's okay, sir, because, there aren't too many people on the planet anyways. It's like, yeah, I know who's speaking in that voice.
Yeah, exactly.
You bet, right, the great cosmic joker. Yeah, there's too many people on the planet.
Yeah.
I watch people actually say that. I think, do you know who's speaking out of your mouth? God, stunning.
So you know what the great narrative is for a better future. He says it explicitly. This is closer to the end of the book. He, in one paragraph, says what the great narrative is after he makes his case. You saw the punchline is centralization of power, transformation of the universe, or whatever. The great narrative is we face multiple existential crises, climate change, pandemics. Exactly. The Four Horsemen. We face multiple existential crises, the poly crisis they call it now.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need greater global cooperation, which of course is going to have to be managed by a system
The
of
Chinese will
stakeholders.
run that road real fast.
Yeah.
700 million CCTVs, right, and gate recognition. Oh,
Yeah.
such fun, right?
Smile for the government. I saw a video that showed the guy scan his face to go through the gate,
Yeah.
and it didn't let him. It didn't open, and it said in Chinese. It says, I don't read Chinese, but it was translated "smile." So I assume it's true. Smile for the government. And he smiled, and it opened. Could you imagine?
Yes.
Well,
yes,
of
I've
course.
been in airports. I can imagine.
Yes. Of course.
I hate.
In my pocket now is my passport from the last time I went to China. I keep a little slip of paper they gave after they took all my fingerprints, my handprints, and scanned my eyes just to go through immigration. The last time I went to Beijing in 2019. So I carry it. It's completely faded. It's a heat transfer.
Soon the drone is coming your way, buddy.
Exactly.
Yeah, the gate recognition drone. Nice poison dart for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
This is very scary. But that's it. There's
Skynet.
your tyrant, though.
We're building the good Skynet. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Building the good Skynet.
The good Skynet,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It's
And so
something.
the ESG openly is there to serve
BlackRock and Larry Fink.
BlackRock and the United Nations.
Yeah, Evil Central.
Because they're set up to establish the reign of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of what they call Agenda 2030.
I helped write those goddamn things, you know.
Oh, no.
And I got to tell you, too, we worked on that document back in 2012.
Do you know why there are 17 of them? I'm
Well,
relentlessly curious about
No, I don't know. When we helped write the document, we were like 170, and one of the criticisms that I kept levying is like, hey guys, guess what? You can't have 170 priorities.
Right.
You can have one priority, because that's what makes it a priority. And I tried to find out why there were 170, and the answer was, well, there's 170 different constituents to please, and we don't want to offend anyone. It's like, oh, you mean you don't want to do anything? It's like, well, yeah, that is, no, that's what we mean, but we don't usually say that.
Sure, of course.
Right, and that, I would say in my defense, such as it is, that if you think the document that was produced in 2012 was bad, you should have seen what it was like before it got edited.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, right. Well, one of the things I did realize after going through that process was that, well, apart from the fact that it was preposterous to have 170 goals, that no one had rank ordered the goals in any halfway intelligent way. There was no cost-benefit analysis, and then Bjorn Lomborg's team started to do that.
Right.
Bjorn wrote a book a while back called How to Spend $75 Billion to Make the World a Better Place, which is an intelligent approach to, I wouldn't say the poly crisis, because that isn't how he frames it, but, if we were actually going to try to lift the remaining people in abject poverty out of poverty, Lomborg was shown that there are ways that are far less expensive than the trillions of dollars that we will waste not fixing the climate, just like they've not fixed the climate in Germany.
Right.
Germany, what a catastrophe, eh?
Well, yeah.
The bloody energy costs are now 5 times as high. 5 times as high. Unreliable, dependent on Putin and other dictators around the world. Right, and they're burning lignite, so per unit of energy, they actually produce more pollution than they did before they started the Green Revolution. Right, and their response to that criticism is, we have to do stupid things. We have to do stupid, virtue signaling, destructive things faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, God.
Yeah.
Stunning net zero.
Net zero.
Net zero for you.
Well, you've seen absolute zero as well. That's beyond net zero. This is a project, a think tank project that came out in 2019 from UK FIRES, F-I-R-E-S, which is a conglomeration of the British government and Cambridge and Oxford and University College London, or whatever that's called. And all of this lays out the idea that, of course, this is just the Overton window stretching. We should take it seriously, but it's probably not what will happen.
Yeah.
Right? But they argue that net zero is not nearly enough. We must have absolute zero. And absolute zero.
Wow, they're saying what they mean.
Absolute zero emissions
That's where
by
everyone
2050.
freezes. Absolute zero.
Well, they openly in the document say people should start buying warmer clothing now.
Especially old people, but they're cluttering up the emergency rooms.
That's right.
anyways.
No air travel at
Yeah,
all.
I know.
No
France
container
banned
ship.
short-haul flights,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago between any two cities that were connected by rail. I know the absolute plan is, well, this is what I said, net zero means, all you peasants who are watching and listening, you should pay attention to this. Net zero means zero for you. That's what it means. And by plan, you little people, you don't need cars. God, who needs a private automobile? I knew 15 years ago that the bloody totalitarians would go after the cars.
Sure.
Because nothing screams freedom like a 350 horsepower Mustang in the hands of a 60-year-old boy. It's like, no, we got to clamp down on that.
That's
It's like
right.
he can go wherever he wants and do whatever he wants, you know, cluttering up the planet and producing carbon.
Yeah.
So it's like no cars, right? The goal is 90% reduction in private automobile ownership. You say, well, you could have an electric car. It's like, no, the grid can't sustain electric charging. Well, how will we deal with that? How about you peasants don't get to have cars?
That's right.
Right. No cars, no flights, no meat, no heat, no air conditioning.
No container shipping.
Oh yeah, well, who needs goods?
So we go back to our neo-Marxist Herbert Marcuse writing in '64 in One-Dimensional Man, and what is he saying? What's his argument? He said, well, the problem with socialism is it can't produce. The problem with capitalism is it's not sustainable. It overproduces and ends up
So
destroying.
we need
itself.
unsustainable non-production.
Correct.
Right. That's the socialist solution.
And so-
how about we have the best? How about we have the worst of both worlds?
Yeah, and so he says, what do we have to do? We have to start getting used to less, lower standards of living, fewer gadgets. We, not
Right.
Not-
And all the people who will be getting us used to lower standards of living will be flying around in private jets, deciding how to do that, eating steak.
That's right.
Mhm.
Of course. Of course.
Oh yeah.
That's the
So
system.
you are a conspiracy theorist, fundamentally.
Well, I mean, I fundamentally reject the word theorist.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's a theory. I think that they're open about their collaboration, and so
Yeah, well, that's so interesting, because we have Antifa, right? And at the same time, we have actual fascism. And everything that Antifa attacks has nothing to do with the actual fascism.
that's right.
Yeah, so there's another great cosmic joke for you.
Yeah, the anti-fascists are supporting a gigantic conglomeration of governments and large banks and industry. Isn't that all
Pharmaceutical
working together?
companies and
Pharmaceutical.
legacy media.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, it's really.
Cosmic jokes are piling up.
Yeah, well, I've been posting pictures of evil clowns lately, and people think they're wondering what the hell I'm up to, you know, which form of insanity has now gripped me. It's like I realized that Satan is an evil clown, right? I started to understand that, you know, when I encountered the sign that was over Auschwitz, because the sign that was over Auschwitz was Arbeck macht frei, which means work will make you free.
Right.
It's like I thought, that's a joke. Then I thought, who would tell a joke in Auschwitz?
And what?
Right. Well, yeah, but who's the spirit behind Hitler, right? Who's the great cosmic joker? And then also mutual assured destruction, right? The acronym for years was MAD. I thought, well, that's a joke too.
Yeah.
Right. It's all these jokes, you know. And then I watched The Death of Stalin. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's great. It's a movie about.
I've heard
about. Oh, it's so great because it portrays the brutal reality of the Soviet Union. There are terrible, murderous, raping, catastrophic things going on in the background of the movie nonstop. And then there's these 5 jokers, one of whom is Stalin, and the rest of his evil crew. And they're bumbling parodies, right? Everything's a parody. And I realized, after really thinking about that motif of the joker and the clown, which has become so prevalent in modern culture, I see, when things become totalitarian, they turn into a parody, right? Like Dylan Mulvaney's a parody, and what's happening to women's sports is a parody, and what North Face is doing with their advertising is a parody. It's like, oh yes, that's right, Satan is an evil clown.
Yeah, well,
right.
What did Marcuse write in '69? So he wrote in Essay on Liberation that it's crucial that the resistance, meaning them, the radicals, take on the form. He said that the clownish forms that so irritate the establishment. It must become an antinomian revolution. It must
Right, everything upside down.
Everything upside down.
Everything
becomes, and then so Judith Butler talks about the politics of parody. You get this kind of despair.
Oh, I didn't know any of that.
Oh yeah,
Actually laid out the
politics
strategy.
Yeah, politics of parody and the clownish forms that irritate the establishment. I remember reading this because, of course, Clown World is the meme on the internet. They call it.
Yeah.
And I'm reading Marcuse, and I stumble on this, take on the clownish forms, and think, oh my God, Clown World was a plan.
Right. The only thing about the evil clowns is they're not funny. Right, that's the big one.
Not funny.
No, they're not funny.
They're not
that's right.
funny.
They're not funny at all. It's not funny at all. Right, and so, and that's quite interesting too, because one of the things you see about the totalitarian left is they really hate comedians.
They
right, so they love parody, but they hate comedy.
That's right.
Right, right. And it's got to be parody of the darkest form.
Yeah, it's always dark or almost
Destructive.
intentionally stupid or destructive. Yeah, every time.
Mhm.
Every time. Grotesque, frequently grotesque.
Yeah, frequently monstrous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never funny.
Okay, so how do you know you're not just crazy?
I ask myself that a lot too, and I don't know that I have a really great answer for that.
Is your wife sane?
She seems to be pretty sane. She's very grounded.
Okay, well that's helpful, and she still likes you.
She very much likes me, and she is very convinced that I'm not crazy. So,
Okay.
and she has
So
a
then
pretty
you
good
could
reason.
have a folie à deux, right? You could both be crazy. Do you have friends?
It's a few, yeah.
Are they sane?
Some of them not. Maybe, I don't know. It's a weird world we occupy, but yeah, most of them
sure
are.
it
Most
is.
of them are.
Well, that's one of the ways you can check, right? Is you want to have people around you, especially if you're playing in this abysmal realm. Let's say you bloody well want to have people around you. Will give you the straight story.
Give you the straight
You'll
story.
get demented and bent out of shape. You know what did Nietzsche say about the abyss? Right?
That's right.
You stare into it, and it stares back.
That's right. That's right.
Right. And if you fight with monstrous forms, you have to be very careful that you don't become monstrous yourself. Right. And I don't think you can do that yourself. I think you have to have people around who are going tapping you into shape.
Hey.
Yeah. Keep the humility up and the gratitude.
Just kind of share all of the cool stuff that I've come across. So this is Cool Stuff by Matt Wolf. And this video is sponsored by Shopify. So thank you, Shopify, for being a company that helps me create fun videos like this. I got a lot I want to share, so let's dive in. This is some cool research out of the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology called Animate a Story. This allows you to actually tell a story and then create an animation from that story. And the way it does it is interesting because it uses existing video and text to video and combines the two to create the story that you're trying to generate. You can see it says we leverage an off-the-shelf video retrieval system and extract video depths as motion structure. Here's an example that they share. I'm going to go ahead and mute the audio because I don't know the licensing of the audio. But you can see they've got a teddy bear here. A teddy bear wakes up in the morning in his bed. He rides his bike to attend a meal with friends. Then he walks into a big palace and starts to wait his friends in front of a window. He and his friends start to chat. After the meal, the teddy bear walks alone on the street to go home. He encounters a lost Santa Claus who is asking for directions. Then he walks through a park. The park has a beautiful waterfall. Finally, he returns home and goes to sleep, ending his happy day. The end. You can see that throughout the video, it's actually a pretty consistent character. The bear stays the same color. There's a few scenes where he seems to lose his eyes, but overall, the bear looks pretty dang consistent. Now, if you use other text-to-video generation models, a lot of times it's really hard to maintain the consistency and look of the character that you're trying to create. So this is pretty cool research that's coming out. And it appears if we go over to GitHub, the code isn't quite available yet, but I imagine since they set up this GitHub repository, we should have access fairly soon. Now here's some research called Animate Diff. Animate your personalized text-to-image diffusion models without specific tuning. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I think this might be the technology that's going on behind the scenes of Pika Labs. But if we take a look, basically they're giving an image, and if I click on the image here, you can see it gives a quick little 3-second animation of these various images. Here's another one where you see the wind blowing in the hair, another one where it's this sort of cyberpunk character. There's a little chipmunk or squirrel eating, and a dude moving his head. And this is essentially a model where you can give it an image and it will animate the image. And if we look at the GitHub page here, it is available to use, and also it looks like it can be combined with a prompt and a negative prompt as well as a guidance scale and steps. Very similar to if you were to generate an image with this Pika Labs tool. And some of these examples are pretty cool here, like this little bear playing an accordion, or this chipmunk licking a hamburger, or this raccoon playing a guitar here. Now again, this is available on GitHub. There are some instructions to install it, or you can just use something like Pika Labs, where if you join the beta, they'll give you access, and then you can simply jump into their Discord, use the create command here, upload an image. I'll use this image of a mountain scene here. I can just drag and drop it in here, and then add a prompt like moving clouds and rippling water. And we get something like this, which is very subtle, but if you look at the water, you can see the water's rippling, the clouds are moving very slightly, and it almost looks like the camera's panning a little bit. I don't know for sure if it's using the same technology, because with Pika Labs, you can also do just straight up text to image without giving it an initial image prompt. Either way, this animate diff looks interesting and looks pretty promising based on some of these animations that I can see it doing right now. If this isn't what Pika Labs is using, it's only a matter of time before there's tools out there that use this behind the scenes. Speaking of Pika Labs, since this is a video about me showing off some of the cool stuff that I've come across recently, I've come across some really cool videos that people have made with Pika Labs, including this one from Alan T here of these giraffes playing guitar together. Here's one from Von Klepp where you can see an animation of these guys in gas masks and it says "Destroy Us." I'm not playing the music because I don't know the licensing to it, but some pretty cool animations here. Here's one of my favorites from Scotty Wick where he actually made Futurama as a cyberpunk movie here. And you can see here's Fry coming in through his little frozen thing from the start of Futurama, exploring the new futuristic city that he just found himself in. There's the professor there. That must be Bender. And then my favorite part is right there. We have Zoidberg. That I think is supposed to be Leela. That's Zap Brannigan. So pretty cool animation. I love this idea of trying to turn cartoons into some sort of realistic version of the cartoon. Check out Scotty Wick. This is a really cool video that he made. Here's some research that came out of ByteDance Inc. called Bubbo GPT. This is another one where the code is actually available on their GitHub page right now. But this is a multimodal large language model. So here's an example where there's a picture of a cat. Please describe this image. The image shows a cat wearing sunglasses and sitting on an orange float in a swimming pool. Is this image funny and why? Then it explains why it's funny. And then you can see how it actually broke out the various elements of the image right within the chat. Here's another example. Hi, Bubbo GPT. Can you describe this image? The image is of a red deer stag standing in a field during sunset with antlers and thick coat of fur. The stag is looking towards the camera with a calm expression, etc., etc. You can see that it's actually breaking out elements of the image and using the computer vision to sort of detect various things inside the image to answer the questions. Here's an example they give of giving audio to the chatbot. Can you describe this audio? In this audio, we can hear the distinct sound of dishes being manipulated in a kitchen setting. It could be someone opening a cupboard, stirring a pot, cracking an egg on a pan, and then plating it. The ambience portrays a domestic scene with the person involved in cooking or preparing food. And here's one with aligning audio and image. Try to find the sounding source in the image according to the given audio and generate a detailed description about it. It then responds based on the provided image of a boy riding a bicycle. It appears that the source of the audio is the sound of a dog barking. The boy appears to be on a dirt road, likely traveling through a wooded area as the tree branches are visible, etc. So it actually managed to look at the image, pull out the various items within the image, and listen to the audio, and then give a description of what it hears and sees and combines the two. So it looks like right now it can handle text, image, and audio, but not quite video yet. However, there is this cool research demo that's available on Hugging Face Spaces right now called Video Llama, where you can actually upload a video and then ask questions about the video. Now they do have some examples here, like this video of a dog on a skateboard here.
Blaming himself for. Meanwhile, our skateboarding dog out on the boardwalk.
And then we can come up here and enter a prompt of what is this dog doing? The dog is skateboarding on a sidewalk in the street. What colors is the dog? The dog is black and white. What type of dog is it? It's a small dog. What breed? It's a collie. So it's actually getting all of this from looking at the video here. Let's see what happens if we upload our own video here of a monkey eating a pineapple. This is an AI-generated video, so I have no idea how this is going to work. But let's go ahead and upload it and start a chat. What is going on in this video? In this video, we can see a monkey sitting on a sandy beach eating a piece of fruit. The monkey is wearing a hat and is using a pair of pliers to hold the fruit in its mouth. The beach has a blue sky and some palm trees in the background. Now, I don't know where it got the pliers, but you can see at one point there is a pineapple on the side of the image, and I think that's what it sees as the palm tree. No idea where the pliers came from. But pretty cool that we're starting to get tools where we can actually have conversations with videos and ask questions about what it's seeing in the video. Now, combine the last research we just saw with this research where it can listen to the audio, see images, see videos, you start to pull all these together, and now we've got true multimodal where you could just upload any type of file and it will help us describe and understand what's in that file. Now here's some research out of Meta called Code Tracker. And basically what this does is it finds a whole bunch of points on the video that you're trying to track and then tracks all of those points at once instead of trying to just pick one single point and track that, because that's a lot less accurate. This is also one where Meta did make the code available over on GitHub, so you can actually run this locally if you want, or inside of a Google Colab here. Personally, I just find watching some of these clips really satisfying to see the sort of rainbow colors tracked along with what's going on in the video. So here we have some previous examples of similar trackers, and you can see this sort of PIPS tracker. It doesn't quite track properly. A lot of extra stuff seems to get tracked that shouldn't be tracking. Same with Raft, same with this taper. But then when you see Code Tracker, you can see in these examples that it's only tracking the stuff in purple, and a lot of the extra stuff that it shouldn't be tracking isn't getting tracked with it. They also have some examples of individual points being tracked versus Code Tracker. The results here are a little bit less dramatic than what we see on the points on a uniform grid example, but all said and done, this is just a way to make tracking specific subjects in a video a lot more accurate and efficient, which is going to make it a lot easier for video editors to mask things out, change variables on the subject of the video, like shirt colors and things like that, because it will better follow along with the subject in that video. Now I want to quickly talk to you about Shopify. Shopify is today's sponsor of this video, and if you're not familiar with them, they're an online commerce platform that makes it easy for anybody to sell their products online. They're the platform that I'm using to build out the future store, where I'll be selling cool mugs and shirts and hats and other swag related to AI. If you didn't know, Shopify leverages AI in several ways. In a recent announcement from Toby, the CEO of Shopify, he talked about the upcoming Sidekick that Shopify is about to roll out, where you can use AI to assist you in building your store. For example, he asked the Sidekick, I've had a drop off in sales from March to now. Why? The Sidekick goes on to say the dip in sales is probably due to minimal snow. These are summer months in many regions, so it's natural for sales to decrease. He then tells the Sidekick, put everything on sale, and then it puts everything in the store to a 10% discount. In this example, he also uses the sales assistant to add surfboards to the lineup, and then eventually even converts the entire shop into a surf shop instead of a snowboard shop, all using this new Sidekick AI that Shopify will be rolling out soon. But not only that, but Shopify essentially has their own AI search engine powered by the Shop app, where you can search their various Shopify stores. So for example, if you go to shop.app/AI, there's a little chatbot over here on the right side. What are you shopping for today? I would like to find some cool AI tech. Great, here are some ideas for AI tech products. Smart speakers, robot vacuums, smart thermostats, smart security cameras, smart lighting systems, and then it shows me various stores that are built on Shopify where I can purchase those items. Let's tell it I'm shopping for interesting virtual reality tech. What should I be looking at? It gives me some examples here, Oculus Quest 2, HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, etc., and then shows me exactly what Shopify stores I can buy them on. What is the least expensive VR goggles? It answers over on the sidebar and then links me to where I can find them. Cardboard VR, $4.99. So while Shopify is a great commerce platform to build stores like the Future Store, they're also on board with the AI revolution, building out some cool next level tech to make your online shopping easier with AI, as well as building your own online stores easier with AI. If you want to build a store over on Shopify and leverage some of the new tools that they're going to be rolling out soon, head on over to shopify.com/MattWolf, and for just $1 you can get a trial for 3 months of Shopify, which should give you plenty of time to get your store online up and running. So thanks again to Shopify for sponsoring this video. So here's another cool research paper that came out recently called Sketch a Shape, Zero-Shot Sketch to 3D Shape Generation. Now, I haven't found a GitHub page for this or any place where they're demonstrating it on video, but this looks pretty interesting to me. It's from Autodesk Research, which is the company behind CAD, one of the original 3D design tools. With this, it looks like we'll be able to create really basic, archaic images. Like, I wouldn't even know that this was supposed to be a chair, but it generated this into a 3D chair. They created this image of a skateboard, it converted it into a 3D image of a skateboard, a wine bottle, an actually pretty good drawing of a guitar into, I guess, less good drawing of a 3D model of a guitar. Now, it does leave a little bit to be desired in the 3D images that it's generating. It looks like it's doing a really, really good job of creating these 3D parts out of these sort of 3D drawn images, but when you give it fairly bad drawings, it does an okay job for what you're going to get out of it. Now, again, I don't know when we're going to have access to this. I couldn't find the GitHub page for it, but this will be something fun to play around with, where we'll be able to draw these images, get 3D assets out of them, and then likely pull them into something like Blender and clean them up a little bit. Now, here's some research that came out of Google called Hyper Dream Booth. And if you're not familiar with Dream Booth, I did make a video of it months and months ago. It's basically the tool that you use to train your own face into Stable Diffusion. You upload 20 to 30 images of yourself, it learns what you look like, and then you can use text to image prompts to generate more images that look like you. Well, this Hyper Dream Booth looks like it's going to be able to generate images that look like you based off of just one input image. You can see here's some other examples here where this was the input image, this is the image over here that it output, here's another input image, here's the output of it, here's an input image, here's some various versions that it output, and you can see some other examples down here. To me, they don't look quite as close to what you would get from something like Dream Booth. With that additional data of training yourself on 20 or 30 images, I think you're going to get a much more consistent look. But the cool thing is we're getting closer and closer to being able to create these AI images of your own likeness with less work going into it. Now, speaking of AI images, this is a really cool product. I don't believe it's available yet. It's called Stacks, and it looks to be something that leverages the Midjourney API, which I didn't even know Midjourney was allowing people to use their API yet, but if we watch their demo...
My man said the new fake moon land will have way better special effects.
We already know, bro. That shit gonna be indistinguishable from the real thing. Alright. Let me get up out of here. I gotta cook some dinner. I don't know what I'm having. I might do something easy like a BLT. I ain't even lying. Might do a BLT tonight. Alright. Alright, guys. As always, appreciate the company in the studio. You motherfuckers never let me down. We getting there, man. This bench got a lot of little details in the wood and the chip painting, and so you got, I don't know, it's a lot of texture. Like I said, a lot of wood grain, a lot of flaking, chippy paint. So it's really textured, man. A lot of textures on there, but it's looking like it's supposed to be. It looks like a chippy, flaky, old ass park bench. So that's what we're going for. It's taking a minute, but we'll get there. So I got that one side right there done. I think I'm stopping at this row, and I'm gonna save this down here for its own shit. So I got this. Now I'm gonna come over and get this and get it down to that row. And it's only because like the books and everything are down here. So I don't want to have to, I don't know. I want to do the books last. So I want to make sure I can get around all of that really easy. He has his phone sitting here. I want to be able to get around that real easy. So I'm going to just make sure I get all the top part first and then work my way around this down here. And then I'll come back and add like some last highlights up on the railing. I can still put some bright white and some spots on there to make it pop a little bit more. And on this railing as well.
Get some bright whites on there. Make that pop a little bit. It's coming along nicely though. Alright, so let me get up out of here. Cause as soon as that AC and that fan turn off, bruh, the heat just started rising immediately. Like turn the motherfucking oven on in this bitch, bro. I'll get with y'all next time. Peace.